Joe Biden's age is a serious issue, and every single day it becomes more serious. He's 81 years old. He's going to be doing a State of the Union this week. I'm actually nervous for the guy. I'm like, is he going to be able to make it? Is he going to be able to do it? I mean, gosh, you look at, for example, just some of the recent events like, oh, I don't know, the border. Did you guys see him at the border? I want to show this, Drew, to everybody because they should see how feeble he is. Look at him walking. Let's just take a minute and watch Joe Biden walking there at the border. I mean, he can barely do it. It feels really uncomfortable to see this, right? Really, really uncomfortable. I mean, Hillary Clinton knows it's a problem. I'm going to get to that in a second. But before we go to it, hey, I mean, there's another one where he actually was in it doing the speech yesterday, and he kind of zoned out. It was like a Mitch McConnell moment. He started talking. He's like, oh, I probably shouldn't talk to your reporters. And then all of a sudden, he just completely blanks. Completely. It is eerie. And then at that point, I'm looking at this thinking, like, at what point does this become cruel and unusual punishment? Seriously, watch.
I have a lot of questions. I better not start the questions. I'll get in trouble.
What's your message for Super Tuesday voters?
Everyone please move this way.
Super Tuesday, say, do you have a message for voters?
Thanks, come on.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
What's going on? Seriously. I mean, this is not okay. All right, so he's 81. He'd be 86 by the time he'd leave the Oval Office if he were to actually get elected again. And so what you realize is that this election is becoming not about Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, but this is an election of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. And that's a really tough scenario for the Democrats. I mean, indeed. So they're trying somehow, some way to kind of downplay the age thing, which makes literally no sense to me. But, they're willing to lie, cheat, and steal, clearly. As Rachel Maddow told us, right? Like, it's up to them. They're going to do whatever they can do. So Joe Scarborough's doing his part. He's trying to pretend like age is not an issue.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now, he's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. And, I don't know if people know this or not, Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is... And I don't really, I don't really care. Start your tape right now because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it. And you...
Okay. Lie, cheat, and steal. Do whatever you're going to do to get the guy elected. I see. That's clearly a blatant lie. You know what? I've known him 50 years, but I met him when I was about 10. So there you go. 40 years. I don't know him like the Brzezinskis clearly must know him. But he used to come and campaign in New Hampshire because that's how long he's been running for president, ladies and gentlemen. You think he's going to give it up? No, now, oh, no way, no how. But let's take another look at what we were just seeing here, because I want to remind Mr. Scarborough there over on state TV of what just went down yesterday when the reporters were saying, hey, you got any nice words for Super Tuesday? And he just glazes into space. It's frightening.
I have a lot of questions. I better not start the questions. I'll get in trouble.
What's your message for Super Tuesday voters?
Thank you.
Everyone, please move this
Go
way.
bench.
Super Tuesday,
Thank
so do you have a message
Thank
for
you,
voters?
Josh.
Thanks, come on.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
He doesn't look good. He does not look good. That does not look like somebody who is in control of all their faculties. So Hillary Clinton's going with a different tactic. She's like, okay, yeah, I know, he's spacing out and he can't really walk and he falls and this, that, and the other. But she went on this little podcast with a woman I'd never heard of. I was like, who is this lovely name? Zerlina. I like that name because, my opera background, and Zerlina is one of the characters in Don Giovanni. So she goes on with this Zerlina lady who's got like 8,000 followers on Twitter, who, by the way, is like killing it with these big, big guests. And she's got Kamala, she's got Elizabeth Warren, she's got Hillary Clinton. And then I figured out, Zerlina is like the former director of communications for the Hillary Clinton campaign. So there you go. Anyway, she sat down with her friend, right? This is like friendly territory. You want to talk access journalism, nothing better than that. You go see Zerlina and you tell the public a new spin, a new way to think about how we should be thinking about Joe Biden. And that's the age is somehow good in this scenario. Take a peek.
And, somebody the other day said to me, Zerlina, well, but, Joe Biden's old. I said, you know what? Joe Biden is old. Let's go ahead and accept the reality. Joe Biden is old. So we have a contest between one candidate who's old, but who's done an effective job and doesn't threaten our democracy. And we have another candidate who is old, barely makes sense when he talks, is dangerous, and threatens our democracy. So really, pick between your two old ones and figure out how you're going to save our democracy, because no matter where you stand on the political spectrum, you want to maintain freedom and the rule of law and protection for people's fundamental rights, or at least I used to think so.
Okay. So you see what this is becoming now. It's good versus evil. They've made it very clear that if you are a Republican, you are on the side of evil and you are against somehow our government, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're on their side, well, then, you've been blessed. You're part of the A team. And this is a problem, guys, because when you look at who's actually hurting America right now, think about the Trump years. Granted, that was no walk in the park, COVID. And I did tell you, did I not? I'm no longer at the network I used to work at, because I was so brazen in daring to tell you that they were going to politicize coronavirus as they did. And that, we needed to stay open because a country needs a strong economy to fight something like that. You take care of the people you can take care of. Absolutely. And then everybody else kind of needs to also figure it out, right? You don't just keep printing money as we did. Anyway, they used that. And here we are. So it's good versus evil somehow, according to them. But I look at it and say, look at what's been done to the actual people of America. When you think about how people have less right now, when you think about inflation, when you think about the threat of who knows what, people keep saying World War III. For goodness sakes, we got ourselves in a really bad situation vis-a-vis Russia, vis-a-vis NATO. And then you look at Gaza, you look at Israel, and of course, our border. What on earth is going on at our border? They're trying to tell you it's Republicans' fault? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, that one really, really makes no sense.